Hey there. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. I'll say that again. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast. Oh, yep, with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. Now it's time for the Big Bad Broadcast.
Hello there, this is Bruce Baum, and I'm casting my memory back to when Lane's Merge and I worked together. I think it was the last time we worked together. He was just heading off to do a film. It was kind of a cross between My Big Fat Greek Wedding, Harry Potter, and Jeremiah Johnson. It was called My Big Fat Harry Johnson.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now to welcome you to Bitchin' Baby Boomers.
Hey, Bitchin' Baby Boomers! It's John Ferrantino from the Bitchin' Baby Boomers Brick Wall Studio. And boy, we got a great show for you like we always have the show. And you need to see our show. You need to go to our website at www.thebbb.bpbradio.com.
And subscribe.
And when you get to YouTube, subscribe. We need it. But we got the normal baby boomers with us today. We have in the top corner, we got King of the Clown College. We got Mike Grief.
Boomin', yeah.
And then we have in the spot underneath them, oh man, he's reading our minds with his X-ray glasses.
Oh man. Nice underwear, guys. Nice underwear.
Hey,
John, I didn't expect you to be wearing like tiger underwear, but that's pretty cool.
Well, I got my Tom and Jerry t-shirt on.
That's I got the tiger underwear.
Oh, look, I can see through my hand.
And then we have the guy who's got the tiger in his tank. We got Craig Mitchell.
Yes, and Joe, I'm not wearing underwear.
And Craig is our all-around bitchin' guy. When I say bitchin', I don't mean complaining. I mean cool. The guy who knows all the stuff that we don't know, which is a lot. Which is a lot. Because as you baby boomers, you know that whenever you get a new product, you got to wait till the kid in the family to come over to straighten it out. So he's our child of the group. He's our prodigal son. But hey, last week we had a lot of stuff about toys, and we've been getting some emails, and people were interested. You know, they go, did you ever have anything dangerous when you were kids? Our whole life was dangerous when we were kids. The fact that we're baby boomers shows how tough we are. Yes. I'll tell you a quick story. I took my nephew in the car the other day, and I think he's 12 years old, and I told him to get in the front after we went to see Fast and Furious 47. So I said to him, sit in the front seat, and he goes, you sure? What if the airbag goes off? And I go, look, you're 11. In 1961, we didn't have seatbelts, and we had a steel dashboard. I mean, it was the death board is really what it was, not a piece of padding on it.
Oh, man. I remember driving with my dad. If he stopped short, I would have Plymouth Fury tattooed on my forehead for a week.
I know. This is such a spoiled generation. Are you kidding? When I remember, I think it was my 11th birthday, my dad bought me a chisel to help me get the lead paint off the wall so I could eat it faster. Now today, you got to wear a helmet if you ride a big wheel. You know,
we got our inspiration when I was a kid from movies, and I had a cousin who I hang out with that was 5 years older than me. Well, this is like when trapeze came out. So one of his friends, they put up this whole trapeze thing with like handlebars from a bike and everything, and they would swing across and do all these stupid tricks with no training, no net. And that's why people broke bones a lot back then.
I will tell you the epitome of stupidness. In my backyard, my father was digging an entrance into the cellar, so you didn't have to go through the house, right? It was an unfinished basement, so he wanted to get his gardening tools and stuff. So while during the construction, they put in an old canvas. Remember, they had those canvas drop cloths that had old paint on them and crap.
Yeah.
So it was a barbecue, and all our families were in the house. And I said to my friend, "Watch this." And I took a charcoal that was glowing hell with a tongue and threw it on the roof of my house. And the sparks came down. And he goes, "Wow, that looks just like a firework." So we're throwing hot charcoals up, and they're coming down in a shower of sparks. And all of a sudden, the whole drop cloth went up.
That's why they invented video games, to keep morons from throwing sparks onto their roof.
Like, I don't know what I was thinking.
How old were you, John? How old?
36.
Like 32. And then I was telling you guys before, just a quick story. It was like my dad had a Corvair. Talk about saving any speed. And he took us all to Carvel on a Wednesday, because Wednesday was Sunday. And everyone loved strawberry sundaes in my family. Vanilla ice cream strawberry sundaes. We were pulling out, and a guy hit us from behind. The ice cream went all over us, and we had strawberries in our hair and hanging off of our face. And we got out of the car, and the guy almost passed out. He thought we had traumatic brain injury.
Yeah, that's because you were all standing there licking the ice cream off each other. Oh, my God, these are sick people.
It was crazy. Wait, hold on a second. Oh, you're kidding. I'm so lucky. Oh, thank you for looking after me. Thanks. Yeah. Hey, they just extended my car warranty.
Can you get that guy to call me? Can you get that?
I'm so happy they called.
Yeah.
Batman has the red phone. You have the blue phone.
The blue phone.
The blue phone. The blue phone.
I just won the Publishers Clearinghouse with sweepstakes.
I mean, we are really lucky we're alive after all the crazy stuff we did. I remember once my cousin gave me a bow and arrow, right? And he had outgrown it, but it was like a pretty substantial bow. Like, I don't know if you could hunt deer with it, but I mean, it was.
You could hunt human with it.
It was. Yeah. So I got some of those metal tip target arrows, and I said to my friend, "Look at this bow and arrow I have." So we went up to the schoolyard, and I shot the arrow up in the air as high as it could go. We couldn't see it. And then we went, "Where is it?" And we started. We ran around the thing, and then it came down into the ground and went into the ground about that far. Oh, and it was like, how stupid was that? I'll tell you how stupid it was. We did it about 4 more times.
Do you guys know what a lacrosse ball is like?
Oh, yeah. I played lacrosse.
Well, I went to play baseball with my friend Kenneth Catalano. If he's listening, I am still sorry about this. I said, we don't have a baseball. Let's use this lacrosse ball. I'll bat first.
Oh, my God.
He pitches me the ball. I hit a line drive right off his forehead, knocked him silly. He had a lump like out this. I mean, that's what kids did. This is like in the 1970s. Hey, let's use a lacrosse ball.
Hey,
thank God for lacrosse, because when I was high school, I played crease defense, and anytime I got a hickey, I'd come home and say, "I got hit with a ball."
Yeah. Come on, man. I grew up in the projects, and let me tell you, so we used to play tackle football in the street. I mean, no helmets, no pants, no nothing. I mean, it's like
no pants,
no pads.
Oh, yeah, no pants. That's really hardcore.
I figured you'd pick up on that.
Yeah,
I would definitely pick that up. Anyway,
but that's so funny because I did that with a lacrosse ball too. I played baseball
without pants.
Yeah, we did it. I'm the guy who got hit though. I got hit in the chest.
It hurts,
you guys, I think it was really more of a Long Island thing. You guys remember stoop ball?
Yeah. With the rubber Spalding ball.
Yeah,
and
you'd bang it off the thing, and
ball.
Yeah. Stoop ball.
Yeah.
And stick ball, which was also good in case if somebody laughed while you were batting, you could just go whack the shit out of them. Stick ball.
With a broomstick. Was it like a broomstick?
Yeah, it went from being like a stick ball bat to being Exhibit A.
Oh man, it's so
freeze
funny.
Tag. You remember freeze tag?
Oh yeah.
How is that dangerous though? If you get frozen in the middle of the street, then it's dangerous because the car's coming.
Freeze.
kill my childhood memory, Craig. Thanks.
I didn't kill it.
Do you remember we used to play Kick the Can?
Oh man, that's old.
Yeah, no, that's older than me.
I
We used
remember
to-
that as a kid. It was like hide and seek, but the guy, when you got a clear shot at the can, you could run out and kick it, and then everyone would hide again.
Did you guys
Yeah,
ever
Mike played Kick the Can, but it was like really called Kick Your Ass.
kick your ass? Well, it's like we're at a park. We used to call it your ass kick park. It's like a movie. Your ass kick park. Come on, let's play dinosaurs. Did you guys ever? We used to catch bees. We used to take used to take like little honeysuckle things, put them in a jar, put a couple of holes in the top of the jar, and we used to catch bees. I used to get whole jars full of bees, man. And
I
then
told you about my bee bomb.
your
This
bee
is how
bomb.
stupid I am.
You smoked
We had
bees.
a hornet. We had a yellow jacket nest in my backyard with one hole in it, and I figured I could take a jar, put it over the hole, fill it up with bees, put the lid on it, and then I'd have a bee bomb. I had no idea about the 30 bees that were coming back as I was trying to put the bee into the hole, and I got stung so much I looked like the Arm & Hammer guy on one side.
From the guy who throws charcoal onto paint on his roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
I had a pretty normal childhood compared to you guys. Oh my god, a bee bomb.
Yeah, I mean, bees we catch lightning bugs, so that's
Yeah, lightning bugs in a jar. Remember, you thought if you caught a million of them, they would stay lit all night long.
We used to hit lightning bugs at dusk with a wiffle ball bat and watch them.
Right.
That's
And
very-
we're the bad guys. And we're the bad guys.
You're
That's
right.
very,
Yeah,
that's very
I-
sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how you know that you were tough growing up. We used to skateboard, but we'd make skateboards out of a 2x4 because of the low center of gravity. And we take those metal roller skates that we had, you'd separate them and nail them on each side of the 2x4. So you're on a 4-inch board going down a hill with no traction at all. And we did it for hours. And then when we got really good skateboards, they were $3. They had composite wheels, like they would use in roller rink. And once you got to a certain speed, the board would start to wiggle.
That's it. You're
And
done.
once you wiggled, it was done. And I was going down this big hill in Huntington. And again, I was driving at the time. But I was a surfer with these guys. So I was driving down the hill. The board started to wiggle. I went to bail out on this guy's lawn. When I hit the driveway, the front truck came off with the wheels. That's wheels, if you don't know. The board stopped short. I went flying through the air. I ripped my pants from my ankle up to the crotch, and my whole leg looked like a piece of roast beef. And I remember coming home, and my dad just looks up and goes, "You're an idiot." Not, are you okay? Nothing. You're an idiot. You're an
Well,
idiot.
you were always more afraid of what would happen to you when you got home than what you went through. It was always
That was
worse.
the real fear.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
there was that TV show. Wait till your father gets home. You know?
Oh, yeah. Today they get I think we said this before. In my house, a timeout was the time I was unconscious after my father hit me for doing something stupid. That was my timeout. He said,
Well,
"You wake
you know
up, did
what?
you learn anything?" And he go, "Yeah, I'm learning how to duck."
Well, I used to always come home and tell my mother everything because my mother had a soft spot for me. And then she would tell my father, and then my father would call her Perry Mason. He goes, "What are you, Perry Mason? All you do is defend this kid." But anyway, listen, we're running a little bit late. We got a special what's going on? What'd you guys do this week?
Oh man, I'll tell you what. I took my monkey army out, and I was showing them some trains because I love old trains and stuff. So
Monkey Army.
what? Well, you know what? I want to see if the show will sponsor me because actually it costs a lot to feed and upkeep this monkey thing I'm working on. So
Yeah.
but
Well, that's funny. I have something I put together talking about trains.
Really?
So, Craig, if you could, it's a whole new segment.
Okay.
So
If you want. These extraordinary stories are true and filmed on location. Remember, believe it if you want. Now your host, Joe Silky.
Hi, folks. This is Joe Silky on special assignment for the Bitching Baby Boomers Radio.com video podcast. And that's a mouthful. I'm here in an undisclosed location in the Adirondacks of New York at a top secret meeting of one of the most amazing clubs you'll ever see. So without further ado, take it away, my good friend, Bob Yulberg.
So anyway, this is Adirondack Live Steamers. It was founded about 35 years ago. And all of the labor is volunteer. The materials, a lot of them are donated. And we come up with projects one after the other, and as they're completed, we add another project. So right now we have a lot of track. It's really a lot of fun to see. And bridges and tunnels and trestles. And it's like a real railroad, only in miniature. So it's not like an amusement park ride. It's like my friend described it as a full-size railroad that someone left out in the rain. And it shrank a little bit. So it's a lot of fun. Twice a year, spring and fall, we have a meet. The public is invited to come in and go for rides. So it's a lot of fun, and they get to see lots of different types of terrain, from forest to swamp to stream and pond and all kinds of other things. So it's really delightful. It's very beautiful. The ride is probably about 20 minutes. It's a lot of fun. It's gorgeous, and you get to see steam trains, diesels, electric trains, whatever anyone decides to build and bring.
Okay, thanks a lot, Bob.
All righty.
Man, my monkeys would love that.
Yeah, but it's amazing because, I mean, these guys build the stuff from scratch. I mean, those steam engines, there's no, like, kits. Or they go, oh, yeah, I'm going to I need to pipe this. And they just build the stuff. They're the most, in a good way, they're the most geekiest people I ever hung out with. I mean,
Joe, I have a question, Joe. Yeah. Are the trains small, or are those really big people?
Yeah. Your friend looks familiar, too. He looked familiar.
Oh, yeah. I thought you guys might recognize him. He's a celebrity. He is the original magical Burger King. When Burger King had, before the plastic head, and during the 70s, he was the guy. He did stuff like Shea Stadium and all this kind of thing. He was the magical Burger King.
I thought I had seen him in the post office, but no, the Burger King.
And people don't realize that Joe Silky used to be the Wendy's clown.
Arby's, right? Arby's roast beef. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you're the national clown.
Do you get a discount?
I got my food for free.
I'm talking about today now.
Nah. I'm all washed up.
They just discarded you like an old clown. Get out of here, you old clown.
So, guys, I don't interrupt, but our guest is here.
All right.
Perfect time.
Bring him on.
Yeah,
okay, we shall do that. 1 second. I'll bring him on. Yep. Well, first of all, before we bring him on, our guest is been a nationally known comedian for over 40 years. He's one of my favorite comedians of all time, and his name is Bruce Baum, and he sent us a video to show before we bring him in. So here we go.
You've seen prison. You've seen women. You've even seen women in prison.
Come play with my wilderness. It is all for you. I have candy.
But never before has sex and violence gripped the screen as it does in Women in Prison with Bruce.
There's gotta be some sort of mistake. I don't belong here.
Put a lid on it, bitch.
No! I'm dead. Don't! There's been a mistake. I'm telling you.
I'm gonna be watching you, you little tramp.
But I'm a guy. Look, I've got a mustache.
Half the women in here have mustaches.
In prison, no one hears you scream.
What was that?
I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything either.
In prison, you can be traded for a pack of cigarettes.
You're all mine now, Curly.
I got no problems with that. Then again, if you guys want to share.
Some women just want to clean up their act.
Oops, I dropped my soap again. A little help, please.
You'll see more gratuitous sex.
Oh, you are strong women. Yes, you are.
More gratuitous violence.
Leave her alone.
All right. This is going to be fun.
Starting right
Women in prison with Bruce.
Ooh, come to me. I'm a nasty fun tart. Plus some all-American nookie.
Coming to a theater or drive-in near you, but most likely to a drive-in.
Crazy.
That was great.
So, like I said, he's been a nationally known comedian for over 40 years. He's been seen in TV, movies. He's an author. He's one of my favorite comedians, and I get to call him a friend. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Bruce Baum.
Hey, Bruce. Hey,
Bruce.
How you doing?
Oh, he sounds great.
Your microphone is.
Oh, his microphone's.
Your microphone is muted.
Your microphone's. Maybe he's going to do sign language.
There you go.
Hey,
There you go.
So I got to tell you, as we're getting ready, that was done for Sunday Comics. And we were filming the morning after. I forgot who the main character was on 90210, but she lost her virginity. And there was huge backlash. So they called me on the set and said, either you can't do this piece or you got to tone it way down. I said, I got it half shot. There's no way you can tone this down. I said, this isn't close to someone losing their virginity. So it was a blast to cast because these girls lined up dressed like that down the hallway. I actually had to bring someone else into the room before you had to legally do that and say, look, because they were all trying to get the role. But
that's where I know you from Sunday Comics and Comic Strip Live, right?
Yeah.
Did you do the Volvo film?
No, that was my son.
Right.
But Rick Overton, it was his piece. I had a piece every week, either live
right.
or video. And then once I started directing other guys and stuff, and they let a couple of them, like Rick Overton and Rich Hall, do their own. So
I remember that video, and I just remember that there was some connection with you to that video.
It was my son, and the producer caught him just before he hit that wall.
Yeah.
Just so you know what John's talking about, he was playing young Volvo, looking ways to be safe. And he took a bike down a hill. And
it was like, even as a child, he thought of safety. And he comes down the hill and just smashes into a barn. His name was, Sven Volvo or whatever. It was great.
By the way, Bruce, I'm a bad host. I want to introduce our other guys. Right underneath me there is Joe Silky.
Hey, Joe.
Hello, Bruce.
And the man who was just talking to was John Ferrantino.
I know John.
And on the bottom there is Mike Grief.
How you doing, Bruce?
Hey, Grief.
Cool. So that's of course that was Marshall Wallace in that video.
That was who?
Marshall
Wallace, yes, from the Bob Newhart show.
Yeah,
yeah, that's who I was looking at.
Yeah,
and Mr. Crabapple. Hey, I'll tell you, once the cameras go down, I better not miss that. By the way, I just have to mention this because it's newsworthy. It's in the news. I guess you guys heard that South Carolina governor signed a bill allowing the inmates to choose a firing squad instead of the electric chair.
Is that true?
That's true.
Wow.
Not making that up.
I'm going to write that down. I got a
But
choice
now. There's other states that have legislation going through their legislature with, for instance, in California, they propose that the death row inmates will be able to choose an ecocution instead of an execution. That's where the inmate gets gently placed in an authentic, handcrafted slingshot at a Renaissance fair. Takes 3 hits of Humboldt sour diesel and then is flung 100 yards into a giant solar-powered wood chipper that remains of the deceased and then sprayed as compost directly onto actor Tom Selleck's avocado farm. So once again, California leads the nation in recycling. Well, I'll give you one more because there's lots of them, but I know that this is gaining a lot of traction in Texas. And if you're convicted of a capital murder in Texas, you'll be able to choose the quick justice squad. And that's where, as soon as you're found guilty, the jury opens fire right in the courtroom.
Well, it is open carry.
That's probably not so far-fetched.
Oh, my God. So Bruce, I mean, I didn't talk about it in the intro, but of course you started. Did you start at the Comedy Store, or how did you get your start in comedy?
Well, that was my, where, a place that validates you. That's where I started getting validated. But I started in college. I had played football at UCLA for a year as a freshman.
Really?
I made it as a walk-on, so it wasn't like I was a big star. And
what position did you play?
I played guard, offense, and defense.
Wow.
I was the smallest guy in the Pac-2. Back then,
I was going to say, because a guard and offense and defense are usually pretty beefy guys.
Yeah, no, it was the Pac-8 back then.
Right.
I was the smallest guy in the league. My claim to fame is I did tackle Lynn Swan. So
nice.
Really? Played against Lynn Swan, yeah. And we had a great at UCLA. They had Kermit Johnson and James McAllister for anybody our age that remembers that stuff. But I went to UC Davis, and I originally was going to play football. I knew I wasn't going to be a pro, so I just wanted to play. So I went up to UC Davis and never went out for the team because immediately my first cousin, Ken Eston, and I started doing – there were no comedy clubs. We did guerrilla comedy. We would run into, the library. He would strum his banjo. I would blow a horn. Everybody would stop studying. We would do 3 minutes of comedy and then run away. And then we would write a letter to the school paper the next day saying we're trying to study in the library and we can't get it done because these guys keep coming in and making us laugh. And the next day we would write a letter from the health services saying from campus saying we've got a rash of people coming in with broken cheeks. And the only common denominator is they were laughing yesterday in the library. And we would do it in dining commons, and it was all mug and wink, take a song and mug and wink. And when we graduated, we came down here. We started working out in little clubs like in Northridge. And then our first real pro gig was before the Ice House was all comedy. They would have a named singer or somebody in the comic would open, and we opened for Scatman Crothers.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
We were Baum and Eston, but in college we were the Baum Eston Skunk Man Rhythm Band. And but so George Miller, great comedian who's no longer with us, happened to come in one night and see us and said, why aren't you guys playing the Comedy Store? And, we, back then you used to go on dates. That was like the big mecca. And he set up an audition the following Monday, and we were instant regulars.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
That's great.
Mitzi Shore was old then.
Yeah, the very first time I went on, Sammy Shore, I was on a date. This precedes going to Davis. I was on a date, and that was the place you took a girl to really impress her, was the Comedy Store. And back then, Gabe Kaplan was the guy you hoped showed up. So I was in the audience, and everybody was bombing. And I just went up to Sammy Shore. I didn't know it was Sammy Shore at the time, and said, can I go up? I had nothing. I went up to improv for 5 or 10 minutes, killed. Everybody came up and asked where I was from. I said, Sherman Oaks. I said, I've never been on stage before. They invited me back the next night. I called all my buddies from high school. You guys aren't going to believe this. I did the Comedy Store last night. No, you didn't. Yeah, I did. I'm doing it again tonight. They all came down. You could hear the cars going by. You could hear people chewing their food. I died. And I never went on stage again until 2 years later in college. So I actually started off as a singer-songwriter. And the Troubadour used to have a hootenanny night, which shows you how long ago it was.
Right. Hootenanny.
But first they had their regulars, but the first 3 people in line got to go on. So I would show up at 6 o'clock in the morning with my sleeping bag.
Really?
I showed up till 3 in the afternoon, but I would stay there to make sure that I got on. And there was actually, I started off as a singer-songwriter. What got me into comedy was I played a little club out in the valley called the Whole Earth Marketplace. And they had a place in there called the Good Food Cafe. It was like an organic food place before they had organic food. And I'm on stage performing a song. I swear this is true. 2 dogs walk in and start going at it like 5 feet in front of me. Now, when I say going at it, they actually, you know what it means when dogs get tied?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
People that are watching, they've penetrated, and now they turn around, they're back to back. And they are stuck.
Oh, it's kind of like a Saturday night for me.
I'm not that limber. So everybody stops, and I stopped too, and I went, this really pisses me off. They know they're not on till after the juggler. And that got a big laugh, and I went, whoa. That was like, with a song, you're waiting every 2 or 3 minutes for a response. So I started working a little more, witty repartee and jokes, and then eventually just went comedy.
That's awesome.
That's right.
It's awesome. So were you working at the Comedy Store when you start? Like I remember the first time I saw you was on Make Me Laugh, which was one of my favorite game shows of all time. Is that how you got the Comedy Store? Was your entry into that show?
Yeah, that was, and that I believe that was the show that really was the catalyst for the comedy boom, because up till then there were, you could do Merv Griffin, The Tonight Show, whatever show you did, people come into work the next day and go, did you see the guy on The Tonight Show last night? And it was, ooh, I missed him. And maybe you'd catch him again in a few months. But with Make Me Laugh, you were on 5 nights in a row.
Right.
So if someone talked about you at work, the other person would go, well, he's on again tonight, or she's on again tonight. Check it out. So it became like a cult hit. It was syndicated. And the markets it was in exploded because we were up against the news back when there was like 3 stations in the news. And we were taping only 2 or 3 weeks in advance. So you could plug your dates.
Oh, nice.
And you'd be sold out before you got to town. And so all the towns that had Make Me Laugh were the first clubs that opened. Detroit had Ridley's comedy
Castle.
So many Castles, little fiefdoms.
I'll tell you a funny riddle comedy castle, right? So I'm headlining there. They pick me up at the airport, and they take you straight to the radio station to do your plug that you're going to be there that week. And I had plugged it on Comic Strip Live, and, they was pretty much sold out. The guy was all excited. And I had worked there like 3 times before. On the way there, I'm doing the news thing. They interrupt the story to say that some guy walked in the post office across the street and shot 9 people, then killed himself. So we pull up in front of the club, and there's chalk outlines in the street and all over the place. The whole place has got police barriers, and needless to say, we didn't have a great weekend. So the next time it comes around, they call my manager, Roy Rosegarden, and they go, we're going to pass on John. Last time he was here, there wasn't a big crowd. It's like, meanwhile, I sold out every time I was there, except for the time that 9 people were murdered.
See, they should have left the chalk. They should have left the chalk markings in the street.
Yeah.
And a big billboard up says, "Our comics kill."
Those 9 were on their way to the show.
So that mostly it was the Midwest. After Ridley, there was the Cleveland Comedy Club. That was huge. That may have been the hottest room of all time. That and the Westwood Comedy Store.
What year was that, Bruce?
Well, you know what? It had to be probably early 80, because Make Me or 79.
Right.
Make Me Laugh was like the end of 78 and 79. And took a while to air before you became popular. first time I realized it was I went to do Cleveland, and they didn't have a club yet. They were doing it in a venue that they said sat 350 people. We were doing 2 shows a night. They picked me up at the airport. I go, Jesus, I'm used to playing the Comedy Store. You go 350 seats twice a night. How many tickets have you sold? They said there's a few left for Sunday's second show. And that's when I realized the power of television if you're doing the right show. So Make Me Laugh was the target audience. It was all people that wanted to laugh. So the other thing is, back in those days, I'm sure, John, you know this, the world was our playground. You could say anything. The sandbox was huge. You could play. Now you find yourself, even on pieces that shouldn't offend anybody, is there a word that's going to take people's mind off this joke? They're going to be going, wait a minute, where's he going? Instead of flowing.
Right.
Everybody used to be able to flow, whether you were talking about them or if it's politics, the other side, or religion, another religion. They've really narrowed,
Yeah, well, we were talking about that before, that basically it's not like say it was about a specific group that you did a joke about. It's not even that group that's offended. It's the other people thinking that group may be offended.
Yeah.
Right.
Today, all you can write about is celery. My new bit's about celery.
Well, I always thought someone should do the politically correct comedian and just come out and do a whole bit. Hey, so I was speaking to this blonde who just won the Nobel Peace Prize, and and just turn everything around. I mean,
those are the clean comics. There,
so,
they got nothing to worry about. So I'm not casting aspersion on them, but they're safe.
Yeah.
The guys that always work clean. But, a comic is like an animal. You don't want to see it in a zoo. You want to see it in the wild.
Right.
And when you're doing TV, that's kind of like being in a cage, because you do have to, and corporate gigs, you'll adhere to what they'd like. But when you're in a club or in a larger venue, you're in your jungle, and you shouldn't have to be caged while you're in that jungle. And that's what's happening now. I'm catching and I haven't done that many sets since the curtain went up, but you do find yourself where you used to think freely. I'll do this joke next, or I'll do that one. I'll go into. Now you're thinking, well, is that going to offend anybody?
Yeah.
I'm going to try to offend everybody. When I get back on stage, I am just going to go out of my way to offend the shit out of everybody.
Can you imagine Sam Kinison today doing that?
Oh my God.
I know, really.
But don't you get to the point where you go, funny's just funny.
Right. And I think what happens when you go to see someone like Sam or Lewis Black, you know what you're going to see. Okay. Right. So you're if it's his audience, you're prepared for that. But you still get people. I'm not making this up either. My wife's a health teacher. And there's some of these organizations that are sending people all over the country that don't live in the district that are saying things that just aren't true. So I swear to God, this is actually online at the Thousand Oaks School Board meeting. They tape them, where a woman gets up and says, the stuff they're teaching these kids, they shouldn't be teaching them about this stuff. They're going to wake up in the middle of the night being attacked by boners. Boners that come after them in the middle. You're going, gee, that doesn't even make sense. I mean, and I'm literally quoting her. She goes, so it's, my wife's had people call her and say, can you not talk about gay? Because I'm afraid if you talk about it, my daughter will become gay. And she gave us I might be telling too much now.
She might get chased. She'd get chased by a boner.
I'm kind of into that boner story. Tell me more.
Yeah.
This person also said when I was younger, the teacher talked about sex, and I went out and had sex and got pregnant. So,
hey, you watch a cooking show, you go out and eat.
Hey,
Power of suggestion.
Right.
Let me tell you something. With everything that's going on in this country right now, stupidity is just rampant.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Amazing. It is amazing. I don't get political really online because I don't need that. I'm
Right.
active offline. But yeah, there's a lot of people that I thought were more intelligent.
Yeah.
Or at least question things or not believe certain things.
I blame the lead paint. I ate a lot of it.
Yeah.
If you ate a lot of lead paint and you think the way you do, I wish more people had eaten lead paint. At least you're not.
And people are forgetting our generation got fed Paraquat. Too.
Somebody said,
right. Oh, yeah.
Somebody said to me the other day about a comic, I won't mention names, they go, he's so political, man. Did he drink the Kool-Aid? And I go, no, he made the Kool-Aid. It's crazy. So I have a story. I was the opening act for Crosby, Stills, and Nash for 10 years. And we were riding in the bus, and David Crosby got a attack of laryngitis. And he was all in danger of like, oh, my God, I've never canceled a concert in my life. And, what are we going to do? I can't sing if we do it, but I can't cancel because we haven't canceled.
Get Bruce Baum.
I said, why don't we get Bruce Baum? And no one will notice the difference. To which point David Crosby went, fuck you. But I showed him the picture.
We could have gone on as Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Baum.
You see
so
that?
You must have got that. I mean, not anymore. Now he's like the Gray Fog. But you must have got that a lot when you were both younger, because
I had people that wouldn't believe that I wasn't him.
Right.
As a matter of fact, Diane Ford, comedian?
Yeah, sure.
So she was on Sunday Comic Strip Live one week when I was on, and she's telling. This is her telling me this story. She goes, "I'm at LAX, and I'll tell you this as a side. He had just had that motorcycle accident and was in a wheelchair.
I was on the road with him at that point.
Okay, so you might have actually witnessed this then. He comes off his plane, and Diane walks up and goes, "Hey, how you doing?" She goes, "And you looked at me like you didn't know who I was." So I said, "Hey, Bruce, how are you?" She goes, "And you looked at me with a blank stare, and I lit into you." I went, "Who the fuck do you think you are?" We worked together last Saturday night, and you act like you don't fucking know me here in public. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And she walks away, and someone goes, "Man, why are you so mad at David Crosby?" She turns around, and she said, "He's gone. I couldn't find him." Just apologize.
Oh, my God.
And just a side story to that motorcycle accident that he had. They took his motorcycle in the truck with the equipment so he could ride it when we got. And he took the motorcycle, got into an intersection, and had no brakes and had to lay it down. Yeah. So he screwed up his elbow, he screwed up his knee. But he wanted to go on that night. So this is great. So they decided that the only way he could play his guitar is if they put his foot up on a soapbox and propped his elbow up on his knee so he could play. So Graham Nash decided, let's cover the top of the box with super glue. So when we lift his foot up, he won't be able to get his foot off the box. And so they went out there, they lifted up his leg, they put it on the box, and we're just dying backstage. It's during his solo. And then he goes to leave, and his boat shoe is glued to the top of the soapbox, to which he looks to the side and goes, "F you, Ferrantino." I had nothing to do with it.
Man, drugs, the other white meat.
And Bruce, you actually met Graham Nash, right?
Well, we did a show, a no nuke show. There we are, no Crosby, Nash, and Baum. It was a long time ago. Jackson Brown, Joe Walsh. I got a picture of Joe Walsh and I don't want to hold this up, but yeah, I got to jam with Joe Walsh. I have a little Star Maker one-string guitar. Is that here? Yeah. Hang on just a second. Wait on. This. I had this. Oh, say, can you? And
I love that thing.
When Joe Walsh saw me do that, I got off stage. He goes, hey, when I go up to do Rocky Mountain Way, why don't you come up and play it with me? So I got a picture up there of us leaning in, him with his guitar and me with my $20 Mattel Star Maker. Rocky Mountain Way.
That's pretty cool.
Hilarious.
That's very cool.
So, so after the Comedy Store, the character I first remember seeing you doing was Baby Man, and I know you actually did a feature film too, The Adventures of Baby Man, right?
Yeah, did The Adventures of Baby Man. Here I go again. Hang on.
We're not going to see him in a diaper, are we?
There you go. There you go.
That's the album, Born to Be Raised. There's me leaving the studio at the end of the day. There's also a comic book, The Adventures of Baby Man. So, that's right. But I haven't done the Baby Man routine in a long time.
But would you say that was your first breakout character that you did?
That was, that when I was on Make Me Laugh, Baby Man, everybody called me Baby Man. So, yes, I rode with that for a while.
And you are an author. You have the comic book. You also wrote another book, which is absolutely hysterical. I have right here, hysterical on hold. That's great. Yeah.
I only wrote that when I was on hold on the phone. I used to get so mad being on hold that I had to turn that energy into something else. Wow. So it's got fairy tales. It's got fairyless tales where there's no fairies at all. And then there's little things that I just thought of while I was on hold, like if the Bible says an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, what happens if you get beat up by a blind, toothless guy?
Very funny.
No, of course.
And then I also co-wrote under the pen name Ted L. Nancy the Letters from a Nut books. Regardless of what you hear, or who you hear it from, I am the co-author of Letters from a Nut. And to verify it, you could, if you want to, go to brucebaum.com and punch the Jerry Seinfeld situation button. So that's that.
Yeah.
Did Seinfeld hurt you?
If I say yes, you're going to get letters from a lawyer. But yes. and that book is letters we wrote to corporations and people with suggestions and ideas, and their real responses back. Like
the great book. It's very funny.
Thank you. And it was a big international bestseller and spawned sequels.
I'm confused. You wrote like spoof letters to corporations,
right? We would write to like the California Institute of Technology and say, if I weigh 150 pounds and I can lift 300 pounds, why can't I fly by sitting on a chair and lifting myself up? And the head of the department wrote us a handwritten letter of why that doesn't work. So,
I tell these guys all the time. That's why I'm working out a lot, because I want to be one of my own pallbearers.
That would be impressive. So, you're still touring today, and I've seen your stand-up, and it is just absolutely hilarious.
You're going to make me blush.
Well, it's okay.
Do you have any upcoming gigs?
Let's see. I'll be in Santa Paula at the Hangar on August 21st. But right now I'm preparing a YouTube show called The Bruce Baum Thing, where I'll be telling people if you're doing nothing, check us out because we're better than nothing. So
we could have that logo too.
That's the story of the Farm of Our Lives.
And then I opened up a hot sauce company.
There we go.
Where I make organic hot sauce called Noggin Blast. And look at that. Oh, look what I happen to have here.
Nice.
I grow the peppers. I grow them organically, and then all the other ingredients organically certified. This is the ghost pepper with extra garlic this is really hot.
Oh, it's awesome.
I must be really hot. And it's
You might as well just lick the stove.
Oh my
But
God!
you can also just put a couple drops in to a sauce you're making. It'll give it some zutz.
Right.
So this one, though, will put hair on your hair.
Craig is always raving about your hot sauce. I want to see if it's so. I want to see him drink it.
You want to see me drink it?
If you like it so much, let me see you drink
dude,
it.
it's wonderful. I'll show you.
Come on, I dare you.
I think he's.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
I'm kidding. There's just I put tomato juice.
Okay, because this one.
Wait.
This one you need
another bottle.
Because this one you would need an ambulance waiting for you.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I could tell you that I've been using this for years, and I've been into your peppery, and your boutique pepper, and this is the best hot sauce. And I mean, it's not exactly a commercial, but yes, this is the best hot sauce I've ever had, and I love hot sauce. It's fantastic.
Oh, thank you. And Craig's been privy to it when I was in the experimental stage. This one's habanero serrano mango, and this is a sauce the whole family can enjoy, depending on how you raise your family.
Well, my son is a huge fan of hot sauces. Like he loves the really hot. Where can I tell him to get it?
You go to nogginblast.com, nogginblast.com.
Because if you ever see those crazy guys that are like trying out the really, my son is one of those. He's one of those guys.
Well, I'll tell you what. If he goes, I'll send him an extra bottle, no matter what he orders. He should put on the thing. I'm Grief's son, but I'll give him
100 sons.
I'll tell him. I'll tell him if he's willing to admit that he's my son. I'll tell him to do that.
Okay, and he wants the ghost pepper with extra garlic.
I mean, let's zoom in on the logo on that.
That's a great. Oh, I can do better than that.
It's a guy ready to die.
And as you can see, $2 if every bottle goes to Elaine Boozler's Tales of Joy Animal Rescue.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
So
Nice.
I try to be a giver.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta tell you, this sauce is so good. Bruce can attest to this. I'll text him and go, dude, I just put it in my hot and sour soup. Oh my God, it's so much better. I just put it in this. I just put it in my coffee. Whatever. It's fantastic. I do.
I appreciate that. Everybody seems to like. I hadn't planned on doing it, but everybody said, "Why aren't you selling this?" So I started, and boom, they sell out really fast. So
that's awesome.
Every batch is different. So who knew?
Who knew?
Who knew?
Cool.
Who knew? well, Bruce, it's been. Oh, one other thing. The other thing that's really cool, and you have a bigger picture of this at your house. Bruce is one of the only comedians I know who has actually played himself on The Simpsons. Look at that.
How cool is that?
That's wow.
That validated me with my kids. Everything else I had done to that point, but being on The Simpsons, that kind of validates you, I guess.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, without a doubt.
Incredible, man.
When I got the call, my agent said they want you on The Simpsons, and I said, "Well, where do I go to audition?" He says, "It's not an audition; it's an offer." I said, "Don't fuck it up. Whatever they're paying."
That's right.
That's great.
Well, Bruce, it's been a gigantic treat to have you on the
Yes.
show. Thank you for being here today, man. Like I said, you're one of my heroes.
And I don't even have a cape.
Come on. Yes, you do.
You've seen The Incredibles. No case.
But only my wife has seen it.
One more time. Let's hear from Bruce Baum.
Yes.
He was great. Wow.
Funny man. Funny man.
Very funny. Great time. But hey, listen, if you want to see us, you can see us on our website at www.thebbbbradio.com. All of our shows are there. Past, present, and even the future ones that Joe's producing. And the thing is, you got to go there. It'll take you right to our YouTube page. And when you get there, you have to subscribe. This way you'll never miss another show.
That's right. That's what I was going to say. Go to YouTube. Or go to Facebook, click on our show, go to the Bitchin' Baby Boomer page, click on our show. It'll take you to YouTube, subscribe, like, and say something. Say, hey, love you guys. Hey, hate you guys. Hope you die a violent, crazy, fiery death. Anything. Let us know you're alive.
Or the monkeys will come after you.
The monkey army.
My secret monkey army.
And you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Craig has the address for that because I can't remember.
Yes, on Twitter, it's the BBB Radio Podcast. So see you next week, everybody.
All right, take care.
Bye, Joe. Bye, Mike. Bye, Craig. Bye, Eunice.
Eunice.
Tune in next week to more Bitchin' Baby Boomers.